To me, recently, it was kind of shocking to hear the news that Toby Keith had passed away. Mostly because, as much as I was a fan of Toby Keith, I don't actually remember hearing that he was sick. But apparently he was sick. Apparently he had stomach cancer, which, to me, it sounds like one of the most absolutely terrible ways that a person could die. And the news, the words surrounding Mr. Keith's passing very much did suggest that actually he handled it with tremendous grace and dignity, which, in all honesty, I think it's something that we it's not as common it's not as common in that sort of thing as we would like to think so. At least in a remark, like people being remarkably dignified, remarkably graceful as they slowly pass away from cancer. I don't think that anybody would care to admit it, but I think it's a good deal less common than than what we hear. But in any case, I mean, Toby Keith, he fantastic musician, gone forever, and that's that is pretty sad. But it's honestly not as sad as some of the people that kind of come out of the woodwork after something like this. In particular, I saw some commentary, not really so much from the Dixie Chicks themselves, but really from more people kind of around the Dixie Chicks, fans of the Dixie Chicks and whatnot, actually took the opportunity of Toby Keith passing away, as their opportunity to come out and complain just one more time about the alleged harassment that, in particular, Natalie Maines, whichever, allegedly experienced at the hands of Toby Keith. And of course, these people, they always come out of the woodwork and they wait till the person is dead and gone and can't speak up for themselves anymore. And now it's like they're going to have the final word forever. Even if that final word happens to be complete horseshit, which in this case it was. I mean, make no mistake about it. There was, there was a feud between those two. And it was, by all means, by all accounts, it was a fairly long running feud. But you know what? Natalie Maines started it. So they want to come around and complain and pretend like she is some sort of victim in all of this. But you know what? Really, all that happened was that she fucked around and she found out. She decided that she was going to take her shots at Toby Keith, and she found out that he can take as good as he got or better. And so just to kind of, explain the story a little bit. So the whole thing kind of revolved around, kind of stemmed out of September 11th, 2001. And so everybody knows what happened then, and I think that everybody knows, about the song that Toby Keith recorded as a response to that. And I think that, like, in terms of country music, the responses to that, they pretty much boiled down to, either that song, people either really, really related their experience to that song, or they might have actually, been, or they might have really been more particular to say Alan Jackson's "Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning." But I think that absolutely none of them, absolutely, very, very, very few country music fans were so pussified by the experience, that they would actually take exception to Toby Keith having recorded that song. Natalie Maines did, and then she tried to pretend like she was supposed to be representative of, the country music industry or country music fans, and absolutely nothing could have possibly been further from the truth. Which she learned the hard way. There was a huge fan backlash against her, not just for that, but also for some, pretty stupid comments that she made about the president at the time. Went on stage at a concert and said, "Oh, we were embarrassed that the president is from Texas, y'all," and went over big wherever the heck it was that she was. But she was a long way from home, both in the literal sense and in the metaphorical sense. In the sense of where exactly it was that country music fans and artists and the community felt about what had gone on and about what the United States was doing in response to what had happened. And it took them quite a long time to even get close to getting back to where they were. Actually, I think I would be hard pressed to say that they ever actually did get back to where they were before she opened her dumb mouth. And as far from this victimhood narrative that some of these people seem to be wanting to circulate right now, as it related to Toby Keith, she did absolutely everything that she could to keep the thing going. Showed up at whatever award show it was with the FUTK T-shirt, and then she tried to pretend that it was actually supposed to stand for something like I don't know, some sort of weird, you know, some sort of weird hippie shit. Everybody knew exactly what FUTK stood for. And so, having done that, I mean, how could she even complain if Toby Keith himself kept going? Which he kind of did until finally his perspectives changed and he decided that he wasn't really all that interested in going head to head with the Dixie Chicks after they had pretty much put themselves in the dirt. These were people that you know I don't think I would go so far as to say that she asked for it. But you know what? I mean, yeah, she definitely fucked around. She definitely found out. It was all of her own doing, and it is the most grotesque thing to come out of this horrible way that Toby Keith passed away. It's just a detail that these people would still come around, and try to pretend like they were victims. Like, no, Toby Keith did nothing wrong.